Well, hello guys. Starting on yet another ring knife, more popular or commonly known as a Karambit style knife. And this one's going to be for my nephew who contacted me. So he's made his color choices. He's going to have the red linen micarta that is that's what I used in Cecil's fillet knife, with a blued steel, and I'm going to use black carbon fiber pins. So I think it's going to be a pretty striking combo. So we're going to go ahead and get started on it. And with these knives, of course, the very first thing is this, the ring. So we form that first. So I've got the steel blued up here, and I've got the pattern laid on there just where it needs to be. So I'm going to strike this little center punch. So that starts the entire job, that center punch mark. So now we're going to cut this off, and we're going to move over to the milling machine where we're going to be forming this 1-inch hole, and then everything else happens after that. Alright, so that's about 7 1/4 inches of steel, 01. It's going to be falling off there any time now, and then we're going to be moving over to the milling machine to get that ring formed. I've mounted a wiggler up here in the milling machine, and we're just going to get as close to the center punch mark as we can. It's not real critical, but I'd like to get just about as close as I can with this means. Alright, so it looks good. I'm locking the X and the Y axis. So now we're just going to be going through this with just progressively larger bits. When I get to 5/8 or maybe 3/4, we can stop, and then I can mount my boring head in here and get this bored out to 1 inch. So I'll come back when I've got the boring head in here, and we're going to bore the hole out. Alright, so what I did is I drilled up to 3/4 of an inch, and then I mounted the boring head in here without moving anything, so we're still on center. So I'm just creeping up my dimension here by about 15 thousandths a pass. We're going to use plenty of cutting oil, and we're going to do this until this telescoping gauge, which is set at 997, will just drop down through that hole. That way the little ring gauge that I use to center punch with will fit the pattern in this exactly, and there won't be any wiggle room, and we'll get a good accurate transfer of the pattern onto the blank here. Alright, so I'm going to continue until we're finished here, and then I'll be back over at the bench where we have everything mated up and we're doing some layout. Okay, got the whole board out, and we are lined up using this little circular gauge, and now I've clamped the pattern onto the steel. Got bluing everywhere still, so I'm going to go lock this in my bench vise. And I'm going to do a really deep scribe all the way around the perimeter, and we'll profile. And then when we're done with that, we'll re-overlay everything, and we'll transfer all of these holes. Okay, we're just from the bandsaw where we've taken out the lion's share of the steel. Now we're going to go move over to the belt grinder, the 2x42, and get this close to layout. Then we'll move over to the 2x72 and get it down to layout, and then we can overlay and transfer our holes. Alright, that's enough on this grinder, so we're going to move over to this one, get our work rest on there, and get it down to layout that we can proceed. Okay, I'm down to profile, so I've put my little main gauge back in to align the rings, got everything else flush, clamped it. Now I'm going to go over to the bend channel. I'm going to transfer all these holes. These, of course, are the pinholes for the handle, and these two holes are just for weight reduction, and they're going to be drilled out to 1/2-inch size. Alright, we're center punched. We're getting ready to drill down. This is a 29 drill bit, and that's going to allow us a little bit of wiggle room on those carbon fiber pins for epoxy to get around. So, and then, of course, these are going to come out to 1/2 inch. I'm going to pilot drill them with this bit. And then we've got our precautionary vice grip here, so just in case when we're drilling these larger holes, if that thing wants to get away from us, it'll stop it. And you know, I just start the hole with it against there, and it's a pretty solid setup. Alright, have all the holes drilled, countersunk. I took this blank into the other shop where I have a conical stone mounted and a drill press that runs at a lot higher speed than this one I use here in the machine shop. And I just broke the corner of this ring where the boring bar came through. So now we're ready basically to lay out our bevels and grind this thing. So we'll be taking this little piece of the pattern that sets our grinding jig after we go on the surface plate and strike our lines, and we'll be proceeding with getting this ready for heat treatment. But right now I'm going to go ahead and upload what I've got, and keeping the videos short and looking at the analytics that YouTube provides. I'm finding with shorter videos people tend to watch these things end to end, which is kind of nice. And as I said before, you know, I know a lot of this stuff is redundant, but my nephew watches YouTube. So when I asked him, hey, you want a little build series made for your knife, he really liked that idea. So that's why I do these, guys, and that's why it's just the same old thing over and over, but it's new to him. And that's why I do it. So anyway, we're going to get what we have up on YouTube, and when we come back, we'll be laying out, grinding, and heat treating. Try to get this wrapped up within 2 videos and getting the handles on this thing. So we will see you back. Thanks for watching, guys.